Today's Mercedes-Benz interview of the day brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Luxury SUVs now come with a luxury of choice. Learn more about the E-Class SUVs at your local dealer or at mbusa.com/special offers. We'll settle on our poll question coming up. More phone calls as well as we welcome in Dave McMenamin, the ESPN NBA reporter who joins us from Boston. Give me the proper reaction to last night's game.
I think you should be impressed with the Celtics, and it was a reminder that despite not being battle-tested through the first three rounds because they faced opponents that were missing their stars, that they were the number one team throughout the regular season for a reason. And if Dallas is going to be in this series, it's going to have to look like it did in the third quarter, which was ferocious defensive effort and Luka Doncic being otherworldly. But they got to be able to extrapolate that over 48 minutes.
Can they?
I think they can. I don't think we're going to see every game being, just a passing clinic from the Celtics on one end and them thwarting everything Dallas tries to do on the other, as we saw for most of the first half, and certainly in that 14-0 run that the Celtics responded with in the third after Dallas cut it to 8. But I think there was a statement type of win for them in game one. And I talked to some of the guys on the team leading up to game one, and it was a really confident group. I ran into Sam Cassell the night before game one out in the North End, and he was saying, like, we're rested, we're ready. We don't necessarily have to have any guy be great to win this series, whereas they kind of need Luka and Kyrie to be great to have a chance against us. It's a group that feels like this is their moment.
What did you make of Kyrie's performance or lack thereof last night?
I was surprised to see it, quite frankly. I mean, obviously, he was the storyline coming in because of his history with the Celtics, and he was great in the Western Conference Finals, but it was mostly ineffective. Even when he got into the paint, they seemed to find ways to siphon him off. And I was interested in his post-game comments where he was kind of taking a 30,000-foot view in terms of, well, we're good to get this finals experience under our belt. For maybe showing his hand a little bit, where he thinks this could be, kind of a tough learning series for his team that they may have to build on in the future.
Yeah, I'm watching last night, and I marvel at Boston's offense. I think it is. I mean, it's been historically great. And then you throw in the defense, they're not going to be beaten. Dallas can win this series. I don't want to overreact to it. I have Boston winning this. I just think that offense is really, really difficult to try to stop. And now you bring Porzingis off the bench. Is he going to come off the bench? Is that his role going to be in the finals?
Well, Joe Mazzulla said there would be no minutes restriction on him. Obviously, it worked. The rotations that he was getting against Dallas personnel. And so I would imagine, at least for game two, that would be the plan. But, it quite frankly, it didn't necessarily matter. As great as Porzingis was, 20 points, 8 for 13 shooting, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, he was just one part of the cog. Now, I will say his initial energy got the crowd into a tizzy. And it was a sight to behold. Like, I think when we talk about the annals of NBA history and in the future, and we talk about a guy coming back from an injury and not skipping a beat, this will be the example A that we point to of Kristaps Porzingis' performance. 38 days missing because of that calf strain, and was as confident as any player on the court.
Talking to Dave McMenamin, the ESPN NBA reporter. I know you primarily cover the Lakers. Danny Hurley is reportedly headed out to Los Angeles to meet with the front office here. We're, 26 hours into this, at least publicly into this. What do you expect is going to happen when Danny Hurley gets to L.A. and meets with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka?
I think he's going to wow them and validate the reason why they've been so interested in him. For I can say it's been longer than 26 hours, but Adrian Wojnarowski has, he has all the the details in the reporting. He's a guy that is intense, but also has a sense of humor and a relatability. And
But does he have to sell himself, Dave, to the Lakers, or the Lakers selling the Lakers to Danny Hurley?
It's a great question, Dan. You're trying to pry a guy from maybe one of the most stable positions in a wildly unstable NCAA right now. He can write his ticket as the mayor of Storrs, Connecticut, for years to come because of the back-to-back titles. So, yeah, the Lakers, I think, financially will have to come with a real package, and also longevity-wise, come with a real package. But Danny Hurley, as Woj has reported, is interested in the challenge of the NBA, and as a tree of the Hurley family coaching, or excuse me, branch of the Hurley family coaching tree, that has been such a vital part of the game of basketball for 40, 50 years now. They want to branch out into the NBA. It's not just for him, but it's for Bobby and it's for his father as well. And what better, franchise other than maybe the team that's up 1-0 in the finals than to coach the Lakers. So, the sense I get is Danny is already very intrigued here. And, obviously the Lakers aren't here to waste time. So I think it's kind of a mutual, do we both have the same feeling? And when we sit in the same room, does it still feel the same as when we dreamt it up over the last few days in our minds? And I think if that feeling's there, the Lakers are certainly, as Woj has reported, prepared to come with a massive offer.
Okay, but what's he walking into here? Is this a desirable job? I know it's the Lakers. You get to coach LeBron, but you're coaching LeBron at the end of his career. You have to factor in the Bronny situation, AD's future there, the role players there. The West is stacked. Danny Hurley is walking into what?
I mean, you could look at it that way. You could also look at it as a team that was number 7 in the West, that finished the second half of the season 12 games over 500, a team that played the defending champion Denver Nuggets to a close battle in all 5 games in the first round, and a team that is playing in an NBA that doesn't, in all due respect to the Celtics, but there's not like an unbeatable juggernaut out there right now. And so with buy-in from a roster and some assets that the team has in the cupboard in terms of those 3 first-round draft picks that they could attach to some of the salaries they have right now to retool a bit, I think there's opportunity that he should be seeing. And certainly if what we've seen from LeBron James publicly on social media in terms of praising Danny Hurley's basketball acumen, if he's going to be there with buy-in, I don't think there's, to me, that sounds like a good basketball situation to step into, not a bad one.
I'll leave you with this. The commissioner talked about expansion yesterday with his State of the Union address to the media. What cities do you believe are in play, and what do you think the time frame is going to be for expansion?
I believe this for a long time, that the cities at the top of the list would be Seattle and Las Vegas. Adam threw us for a loop just slightly, bringing up the idea of international expansion, mentioning Canada again. Obviously, Vancouver once had a market before, and the league has played exhibition games in Mexico City. Obviously, proximity-wise, you're not really thinking about international expansion to Europe, or Asia right now, unless they were to open up an entirely different division. But you're talking about probably a year into the TV deal, maybe the 26-27 season, we could be looking at a team, and that certainly would give a new franchise. Well, obviously, there's already an arena in Las Vegas, but it would give a new franchise time enough to kind of build up all their infrastructure from the ground up.
Thanks for joining us as always, Dave. We appreciate your time.
Great to see you, Dan.
That's Dave McMenamin, ESPN NBA reporter. Once again, Danny Hurley is reportedly en route to Los Angeles to meet with the front office there with the Lakers. A couple of phone calls in here.